Hi everyone, and welcome to Hidden Shrine. This is S, and it is Monday night. I'll probably be posting this, well, I don't know, maybe tonight or maybe tomorrow. So either way, hope you're having a good week thus far. And tomorrow is Midsummer, so happy Midsummer. And yeah, let's get right into it. So this week, usually I do the whole last week's decks and then my selections for this week. So I'm going to be switching things up a little bit, more just in my terminology and the way I'm presenting it, because I've enjoyed these weekly sort of reflections and planning ahead, but it's a little difficult for me to, let's say I plan on using, these two next week. But then during the week I see myself, actually, I really want to use that. But then I feel guilty. So I'm just going to be changing my language about this a little bit. But it's going to be more or less the same as my weekly deck choices and selection, blah, blah, blah. But I'm switching the terminology to be more open-ended, I guess, and I'm going to start just doing weekly reflections and plans. So sort of what did my last week look like with, specifically tarot decks, oracle decks, and books, and then kind of what am I planning for the week, or what are my thoughts? And this will kind of allow for changing, throughout the week, because often, me wanting to work with a certain deck is kind of spontaneous, or maybe I'll be thinking about it for a couple of days and then I will just want to go in that direction. So changing the terminology slightly will basically, it doesn't really change much. It just sort of changes the way I'm looking at it. And, that way I'm not locking myself into a certain thing and then feeling guilty if I fail to use certain decks, or if I decide, I really feel like I should be using this, or I'm really feeling drawn to using this. Okay, so let's get all this stuff out of the way. I'll just put it on the side here. So what did my week look like? Okay, so it went pretty much according to plan. I continued using, I'm zooming out a little on my camera, and it's making my hands look kind of freaky. Like, look at that. My hands aren't actually that long. I'm using a 0.5 times setting. So anyway, that's why that looks weird like that. So yeah, my plans were pretty much, I'm going to use the Carnival at the End of the World deck, along with the companion book that I got. I didn't get the physical book, as I just explained last week. I just got the digital version. Let's just zoom in. That's better. Okay. I got the digital version because, well, it was cheaper and I didn't feel like waiting for the physical book. Mainly because, the shipping, overseas is kind of ridiculous. And here you see, if you follow me on Instagram, the top cards were my poll for today, actually. So I did go into using this today, and this was a pretty crazy pull I had here. 2 majors and 2 sort of special cards that come with this set, which they call, I think, the insubordinate, something like that. Arcana is kind of funny. But anyway, yeah, so the book's really, really fantastic that comes with this. So I've been really enjoying using this deck some more this week. Oh yeah, hold on, look at the King of Swords. It's pretty amazing. Yeah, so I really enjoyed using that. That was kind of the main one I continued using this previous week, along with the book, PDF, really. And then I also used my Victorian Romantic Tarot. Get a couple of cards out here, just look at them. And I really enjoyed working with these some more, but yeah, the images are so good. I love this Three of Wands. It's like a weird trumpeter dude. Well, what is that? I mean, it's like a trombone, but the horn is like behind him. I don't know what that's called. That one's really good. Yeah, so this was absolutely lovely to work with some more. And I don't have the guidebook for this. I just have the little white booklet, but it's quite good actually. It's quite good as far as little white booklets go. And the thing is, I don't want to order the manual or whatever you want to call it, the guide, because again, shipping, it's so freaking expensive. I wish they had a PDF of it, but I don't think that they do. And also Baba Studios is ridiculously expensive. So that's another reason I didn't get it. But yeah, look how amazing these cards are. They're so good. Yeah, so I worked with the Victorian Tarot, and pretty much, I didn't work with it nearly as much as I did with the Carnival at the End of the World, but it was sort of a nice in-between, and it has a similar kind of feel in some ways. You know, I guess time period wise it's kind of close, although of course the Carnival at the End of the World is a little more industrial feeling. But yeah, and then I also got this book in the mail last week. I forget when, but it's pretty good. It's by Letitia Barbier, I think. You've probably seen her Instagram, or you know, the one she's associated with. What is it? Morbid Anatomy. I think she's associated with them. But this book's actually quite nice. It has these embossed, all these little emblems related to the tarot. Yeah, I've just done a little bit of reading. Her writing is really good. As far as the kinds, let me zoom out again. The kinds of images. So I have another tarot book that's, I think, by Taschen, that is really, really good. And that has sort of a wider variety of images, where this, for the most part, is just sort of focusing on older decks. I think because they're a smaller publisher, so that they had a harder time getting, you know, the rights to publish certain images. And then at the end, they sort of have a little section with recents. And they all, yeah, it says Modern Tarot. And these must be people they're friends with, I guess, because you have the Kahn and Selznick, who I know for a while they were selling their tarot on their website. And then also, here's Pavlov's, which I think didn't US Games they're just releasing a new version of this. I know it was like indie before, and now either US Games or Llewellyn are releasing this deck, which is awesome. And I really want to get a copy of it, actually, but later. And then they have, I don't know how you say this, Usi, the Pagan Otherworlds, and they also have that Materia Prima, and the Eros Tarot, which looks really fun, but, like, it's super expensive, so I never seriously considered it. So, I gotta say, I'm not going to have a verdict on this book until I read all the way through it. I guess I was expecting wider variety of I guess, more modern decks, but the majority of it is on more historical tarot, which is cool. Actually, that's amazing. I guess I just was expecting something different based on the name A Visual Archive. I was kind of expecting just a slight wider variety instead of sort of just late medieval, early modern stuff. So here's where I switch over into my plans for this coming week. So my plans are, I want to dig a little more into that. As far as which decks I want to use, honestly, right now I don't have any. Well, that's not entirely true. I don't have any solid plans except, I'm going to zoom closer again, except that I finally got a copy of this deck that I've been wanting for a long time. It's the Liber T Tarot of Stars Eternal. And Liber T is, it's a Golden Dawn book. I forget which one of the Golden Dawn people wrote it, but that's sort of the manual that have all the descriptions of, each card. And then there is a reworking of that called, like, the Liber Theta, I want to say, which is a little more Thothy, like Thelemic or whatever version. It's like an update, but you could find Liber T and you can find Liber Theta online very easily. But it's essentially just the Golden Dawn and the Thelemic write-ups of, like, describing each card. So that's what the Golden Dawn decks essentially are referencing for the most part, and also the Thoth deck, if my understanding is correct. So, the Tarot of the Stars Eternal. So some people call this a Thoth clone. I don't think it's quite a clone. I mean, you decide for yourself. But it's kind of interesting because the Smith-Waite, we have like a bazillion clones, but if you look at the Thoth, you don't really have a lot of clones of that. Which I guess makes sense because the art, Frida Harris's art is quite a bit complex, so it's a little harder to just clone that. But anyway, the Liber T is essentially a, I don't know, some people, I guess, call it a clone. It seems more like an homage or a revisit to the Thoth. So right off the bat, if you know what the Thoth looks like at all, I'll just show you a couple of the cards. So all the majors are pretty much straight up from Lady Frida Harris's vision, and Crowley's vision too. So this deck, I'm talking in circles here, but this deck was orchestrated. I don't know what you want to call it. So basically the person who took Crowley's role on this deck is this dude named, where is he? Where is he? He says his name here. There it is. Roberto Negrini. And he's, you know, in one or multiple of these orders, like the OTO. I'm not sure what FLH is, but he's some like high up dude. And I guess he's like an expert on the Thoth, so you know, makes sense that he would want to make a another Thoth deck. Anyway, as you can see, it pretty much follows everything exactly, but the artist who also did the now out of print Dante Tarot, which I've been trying to get hold of for quite a while, he does these really cool sort of, I think they're all pencil drawings if I'm not mistaken. But I'll just show you a couple of these. And here's like the Magus. So it's like the same thing. All the details, or symbols I should say, are there. It's just smoothed out and simplified. So it's this really neat deck, and I've been looking at this for quite a long time and wanting it, and it was out of print, or at least hard to find for a while. And I always, you know, I check pretty periodically, and the other day I checked and I found a copy that wasn't expensive, so I went ahead and got it. I think what happened is Los Scarabeo started printing it again or something. Yeah, so as you can see, the majors are very close to the original Thoth. I love the way this hermit looks, though. Like, he's kind of like slinking. I don't know, it's so cool. But far less detailed, I guess you could say. Now, the thing that interested me most, besides the fact that it's a rare instance of another Thoth, is that the minor arcana are sort of their own thing. Well, I shouldn't say they're their own thing, but they're illustrated much more. They're not, who was it? Who is it that calls the minors sort of pips with feelings? Like, yeah, that's what the Thoth is. But this actually follows the descriptions in Liber T a lot more closely, and those are based on, I think, like the Egyptian decans, which are, I don't know a ton about that, but essentially related more to astrological symbolism, like you can see in here. So at the bottom you have the Three of Cups, and then at the top it has the scene. Okay, my phone cut me off because I guess I was ranting. So yeah, the reason I've been wanting this for a while is because it is sort of an alternate version of the Thoth. I really like this art style. You know, I'm a huge fan of Lady Frida Harris and just the Thoth deck in general. So to have sort of this alternate version is cool, but also because the minors illustrate, you know, they have this sort of typical, like here you see what the Thoth has for the Two of Pentacles or coins, whatever, but it has this scene based on the writings in Liber T regarding the Egyptian decans and, you know, astrological. So you see in the sky you have the astrological symbols here, and then this image based on what the Liber T has written. So that's sort of my plan this week. I mean, and whatever else pops up, is I want to kind of pick one of the suits. Maybe I'll go for the cups just because that's what's in front of me right now. and look at the illustrated scenes on these cards and read the entries in the Liber T or the Liber Theta. I have a PDF of that. Like, look at this one. So you have these sort of demon little things attacking this dude, and here you have these two ladies kissing. Little nipple tweak action going on there. So pretty interesting scenes, to say the least. So I wanna see what that is all about. Yeah, so that's kind of my plan for the week. Reading a little bit of Liber Theta. I haven't read all that much of it. About 2 months ago, I was starting to read that, but then Taurus season came and I wanted to make the switch. I wanted to give myself a little break. So I think I want to do that a little this week, but again, we'll see. Maybe not. Those are my plans. If you feel like subscribing, that would be awesome. I love when people comment, so drop me a comment. So yeah, let me know what you guys are planning on doing. I've already watched some videos of others who sort of do this weekly update, and I always love watching those, seeing what you are all doing. All right, everyone. I will talk to you soon. Maybe later this week, I'm planning on, I might do just like a side-by-side comparison of the Liber T, Tarot Stars Eternal, and the Thoth. Might be fun. But I've also been planning on doing kind of a series where I compare the Thoth with 2 of the Golden Dawn decks that I have. I think I mentioned that last week, but this previous week is, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling too talkative, so I didn't end up really making any videos, but I'm hoping this week I will be a little more talkative, so we shall see. Okay, bye everyone. Have a lovely week and a lovely midsummer. All right, bye.